Many people believe that wisdom is found only in sacred texts, in the words of great teachers, or in distant monasteries. Yet, true wisdom does not only live in extraordinary places, it hides in the ordinary moments of life, waiting for us to see it, the way we breathe, the way we walk, the way we speak, even the way we wash a cup. Each can reveal truths about ourselves and the world. Each breath is a doorway. Most people pass through their days without noticing it, without realizing that the simple act of breathing carries the essence of life itself. If we pay close attention, the breath is a teacher. It shows us rhythm, balance, and impermanence. One breath comes in, another goes out. No matter how much you wish to hold on to it, you cannot. And no matter how distracted you become, the next breath is always there, waiting to bring you back. The breath does not judge. It does not ask if you are happy, sad, successful, or lost. It simply flows, reminding you that life continues. When the mind begins to wander into the regrets of yesterday or the anxieties of tomorrow, the breath invites you back into this single moment. It whispers, this is where life happens, not in the shadows of the past, not in the illusions of the future. In every inhale, there is renewal. In every exhale, there is release. If you are aware, you see the wisdom hidden in this cycle. Renewal is not permanent. Release is not permanent. Everything is movement. Everything is change. The breath teaches us to let go without fear, to accept that clinging brings suffering and that peace comes from flowing with what is natural. By observing the breath, you begin to observe yourself. You see the restless mind, the tension in the body, the emotions rising and falling like waves. Slowly, the breath becomes an anchor, a reminder that even in storms, there is a center that does not move. To notice the breath is not only to notice air entering and leaving, it is to notice life itself happening in this very second. When people think of growth, they often imagine extraordinary efforts, great breakthroughs, or moments of intense inspiration. Yet the true shaping of a person does not happen in rare events, but in what is repeated every day. Routine, often dismissed as boring or mechanical, holds a hidden power. It is in the ordinary actions, the way you wake up, the way you prepare your meal, the way you walk to your destination, that your character is silently being formed. Repetition is not emptiness. It is the rhythm of practice. When you brush your teeth, you may think it is just a task, but within that repetition lies discipline, attention, and care. When you tie your shoes, it may feel insignificant, yet it is a training of presence, of not overlooking the small details. The one who honors the small soon becomes capable of the great. Routines also teach us patience. You do not become strong from lifting a weight once, but by lifting it again and again. You do not master a movement, a craft, or even your own emotions in a single moment, but through steady repetition over time. Life shows us that consistency shapes us far more deeply than intensity. Intensity comes and goes like a flame in the wind, but consistency builds foundations that cannot be shaken. There is also humility in routine. The great musician practices scales. The great martial artist repeats simple steps. The wise person returns again and again to the basics. Routine strips away the illusion that greatness is built from grand gestures. Instead, it reveals that greatness is hidden in the small, in the unnoticed, in the daily. If one learns to see routine not as a burden, but as a teacher, then every ordinary action becomes meaningful. Washing a cup is no longer just washing a cup. It is the cultivation of patience, of attention, of presence. Walking is no longer just walking. It is the training of awareness with every step. In this way, life itself becomes the practice, and the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every person who enters your life carries with them a lesson. Some bring joy and remind you of kindness. Others bring conflict and reveal the edges of your patience. Together, they become mirrors, reflecting parts of you that you may not see on your own. In this way, relationships are more than connections with others. They are teachings about yourself. When someone praises you, observe how your heart reacts. Do you grow attached to their approval, or do you receive it with balance? When someone criticizes you, notice the emotions that arise. Do you respond with anger, defensiveness, or quiet reflection? These responses reveal the shape of your ego, the places where you are still bound. Without relationships, these hidden parts might never surface. Relationships also teach compassion. To see another person struggling, to feel their joy or sorrow, is to be reminded that life flows through all beings in the same way it flows through you. When you open yourself to this awareness, arrogance softens and empathy grows. The lesson here is not only to connect, but to recognize yourself in the other. Conflict within relationships, though often painful, carries wisdom as well. When someone challenges you, it forces you to look beyond the surface of your comfort. Perhaps they awaken a wound you thought was healed. Perhaps they highlight a weakness you refuse to acknowledge. Though uncomfortable, such encounters are invitations to grow. Without resistance, there is no strength. Without disagreement, there is no deep understanding. Even silence within a relationship teaches something. Sometimes a friend does not speak or a loved one withdraws, and in that space you are reminded that connection is not only made of words. Presence, patience, and acceptance are also part of the bond. To remain open in moments of distance is to understand that love is not possession but freedom. In every smile, in every conflict, in every moment of closeness or distance, relationships reveal the truth of who you are and what you carry. If you have the courage to see, the people around you become your greatest teachers. Silence is a teacher that most people overlook. In a world filled with noise, messages, conversations, music, opinions, silence often feels uncomfortable. Many rush to fill it with sound because in silence they begin to hear something they usually avoid themselves. Yet it is within that quiet space that the mind begins to settle, like water becoming clear after being stirred. When you sit in silence, thoughts first appear louder, restlessness rises. The body wants distraction, the mind seeks escape. But if you remain, if you allow the waves to pass, silence reveals its depths. What once seemed empty becomes full. In stillness, clarity emerges, and from clarity comes understanding. Silence teaches that not every impulse requires action, not every word needs to be spoken, not every thought deserves to be followed. It shows you the strength of restraint, the power of patience. In silence, you realize that reacting quickly is often less wise than waiting, observing, and responding with calm. There is also healing in silence. When you pause from speaking, from explaining, from trying to control, the heart finds room to breathe. Tension eases, space opens. The mind discovers that peace is not something to be found outside. It is already within, waiting beneath the noise. Even in relationships, silence speaks. Sitting with another without words can sometimes create more connection than endless conversations. Silence does not mean absence. It can mean presence, awareness, and deep listening. It teaches that communication is not only about what is said, but also about what is felt. To embrace silence is to embrace the unseen wisdom of stillness. It is to recognize that the greatest strength is not always expressed through sound or movement, but through the quiet power of simply being. Struggles are often seen as obstacles, something to be avoided, resisted, or quickly overcome. Yet within every struggle lies a hidden teaching, waiting for the one who is willing to look deeply. Pain, failure, and loss are not punishments. They are forms of instruction that life delivers in ways we cannot ignore. When you encounter difficulty, the first reaction is usually resistance. You wish the problem away, you fight against it, or you escape into distraction. But resistance only adds weight to the burden. The more you resist, the stronger the struggle feels. If you shift your view and allow yourself to see the lesson behind the hardship, the struggle changes shape. It is no longer only suffering. It becomes a guide. Failure, for example, teaches humility. It strips away illusions of perfection and reminds you that growth requires falling down. Each failure invites you to rise again, stronger and more aware. Pain, whether physical or emotional, teaches endurance. It shows you the depth of your resilience, the capacity to remain standing even when life feels heavy. And loss teaches appreciation. The absence of something you once took for granted sharpens your awareness of the value that was always there but unnoticed. Struggles also carve strength into your being in a way that comfort never can. Muscles are built by resistance, and so too is character. Without difficulty, there is no depth. Without storms, there is no understanding of calm. The challenges you face are shaping you, molding you into someone capable of carrying more, seeing more, and understanding more. Every struggle carries within it the seed of transformation. The question is not whether life will bring hardship. It always will. The question is whether you will allow hardship to harden you or to open you. In this way, struggles reveal their hidden wisdom, offering growth in exchange for courage. Gratitude is often spoken about in moments of celebration, when life gives something extraordinary, when success arrives, or when joy is overflowing. But the true wisdom of gratitude is found not only in rare blessings, but in the ordinary flow of daily life. To see the gift in the simple, in the overlooked, in the everyday, this is where gratitude becomes a doorway to wisdom. Consider the warmth of the sun on your skin, the coolness of water on your lips, the steady beat of your heart. These are not small things. They are the foundations of life itself. Yet because they are constant, they often go unnoticed. Gratitude brings your attention back, reminding you that what is familiar is also precious. Gratitude also shifts the way you perceive challenges. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to see what is being offered. Even in difficulty, there may be a lesson, a hidden strength, or a new direction opening before you. Gratitude does not mean ignoring pain, but recognizing that even within pain, something valuable can emerge. When you practice gratitude, the mind softens. It becomes less restless, less consumed by what is missing, and more aware of what is already present. The endless search for more slowly gives way to an appreciation for enough. In that moment, life stops feeling like a constant chase and starts to feel whole, complete, abundant. Gratitude also deepens relationships. A simple acknowledgement of another's presence, kindness, or effort strengthens bonds more than grand gestures ever could. When someone feels seen and appreciated, they blossom. Gratitude becomes a way of giving, of nurturing connection, of honoring the invisible threads that bind people together. To walk through life with gratitude is to walk with open eyes. It is to realize that life has never been empty, only unnoticed. And when you begin to notice, every moment reveals itself as a gift. Wisdom is not hidden in distant temples, nor reserved for those who retreat from the world. It is woven into every breath you take, every routine you repeat, every person you meet. It waits in the silence you resist, in the struggles you endure, and in the gratitude you cultivate. Life itself is the teacher, and every moment is a lesson. The question is not whether wisdom is present, it is whether you are willing to see it. When the eyes are open, when the heart is attentive, even the smallest moment can reveal the deepest truth. To live with awareness is to discover that the ordinary has always been extraordinary. So do not wait for wisdom to arrive from outside. Look around you. Look within you. The wisdom you seek has always been here, hidden in the simplicity of everyday life.